Hello, boys.
I love how you take our friendship seriously enough to get a stinger for it.
Yeah.
It's
Nice.
awesome.
Mate, we're mates.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I noticed you on Channel 9 the other day, Sats. Very, very good. Very polished.
Oh, thank you very much.
Yeah, you're too good for those other two Derricks there.
He's one of my favourites, Joey. He's one of my favourite humans.
Yeah, he's good.
Is he?
I love him. Yeah, he's a great
he's
guy.
good fun.
Mm,
Hey,
great guy.
Rat,
Yep.
we're back. The Wallabies.
Yep.
We are
Yep.
back.
We are. We
Thought-
are back.
Thoughts on the game?
There's a lot of good to come out of it. A lot to work on. But yeah, no, they were good in every area. I thought. Just a few fundamentals let them down. But,
It's good about Joe Schmidt, isn't he, the coach?
Yeah. Well, mate, this is coming from a guy sitting next to me. When I text him, mate, the Wallabies are going good. He texts me back, "Let's go Wales."
Oh.
Complete A grade of the highest order.
Well, they're paying $5.
Well, I took the 12.5 star. What are you really gambling with? Because Beaver Donald said, "Mate, take that." We only just snuck in. But Rat, apparently Schmitty is the gun, like scrums. That's his forte. Is that correct?
Yeah, well, they did scrummage very well. Not that I know, but they got a penalty. I noticed one, but yeah, that's a world that's you're talking about something out of my depth. But no, I just think that they were good. Their line out was good. Yeah, their open field play was good. I thought the midfield worked really well. I thought Lalesio was good and Posami was good. But Tom Wright, like the 9, 10 and 15, which are three critical positions for your team, that none of those three went to the World Cup. Anyway, they're back in there. And Tom Wright certainly had some issues in his game prior to the World Cup. Had some howlers and mistakes that, sometimes would cost you the game. But the Super Rugby season he had this year, he was on fire. So got his opportunity and I thought he delivered. Scored a great try to wrap things up.
Broke that poor Welshman's ankles.
He did.
That was nasty.
Yeah, he was at Manly for a little while, Tom, right?
Yeah. He, I don't think league was his go. I don't think.
Well, he's getting better and better. He's a big unit. He's not a small guy. He'd be close to 100 kilo if he wasn't 100. And probably about 6'2", and just moves so well.
Boys, the Parramatta Eels have announced their head coach for the next 4 seasons today. Jason Ryles, thoughts?
Yeah, I thought all the candidates were pretty good, so I'm pretty happy either way. They're all good guys, good coaches. Jason Ryles, most important person who's going to be. I mean, I know Buckets O'Neill is their general manager of rugby league, and he's a good guy, Buckets, one of the great guys of rugby league. But that person's really important because he's come from a club like Frankie Panisi at Melbourne, who just takes all the weight off the footy club's, the footy department's shoulders, and he just deals with the CEO and the board. And Craig Walker, walks really well at the Roosters, and Trent Robinson, he has the ability to take a lot of that off him as well. So that person's really important because there's so many people involved at Parramatta.
Yeah,
so many people.
It's a big club though. But we were saying earlier, if you were the coach to finally break the drought, you'd own all of Parramatta. It's just when I go
desperate.
When I go somewhere with Nathan, I'm flabbergasted at how many Parramatta supporters.
Really?
It's unbelievable. They just don't wear their jumpers out because they're quite embarrassed.
Yeah, it's like St George supporters.
Yes. But you can tell. We can tell on a Sunday night on Maddie's show because people in the live audience, it's Bulldogs everywhere. There'll be Bulldogs jumpers.
They've come out of the woodwork.
Come right out of the woodwork. Boys, Queensland Origin team was named. Now, I want a proper answer here. And don't say I don't know. What's David Fifita done to Billy Slater? Why is he not anywhere near this team?
Yeah, I was surprised, I will say, but I don't know. I really don't. I mean,
he watches Dave.
Obviously something.
From all reports, he
scenes,
watches
right?
Dave when he hasn't got the ball in his hands, and just all these body movements and hands on hips, and not getting overly involved with the playing group in relation to where
off the ball stuff.
Off
right?
the ball stuff, just all those little tiny things. And where do you agree with it? I don't know, but.
No, because I don't know, but if I'm out there and David Fifita's running at me, and he's only got to play the 30 minutes, 25 minutes, I'd much rather not have to put my body in front of him rather than Kurt Capewell.
Yeah, that was sort of my opinion, Fletch. I was genuinely like, if I'm standing on the edge playing in the halves, and I've got either David Fifita or Capewell running at me, like who am I?
You're going to have Ponga running at you as well.
Yeah. But Fifita, I mean, you got Fifita coming straight at you, and you got Ponga looping around the back, or Reece Walsh looping around the back.
2022.
He's going to stand. He's going to put you he's going to stand you up like Fifita in terms of like he's going to get you locked into a spot.
And that's what I don't understand. I know maybe his body language is not great. He's averaging about 70 minutes for the Titans this year. He doesn't.
I thought he's been pretty good.
No, he's been really good.
He doesn't need to play 70 minutes.
No,
he doesn't. He needs to play maximum.
Give you a good 40, like a real good 40 if you.
And then get him off. I just find it really, really strange. Anyway,
I got to 2022. Queensland won game 1 in Sydney. Game 2 got lapped by 40 in Perth.
Yep.
And everyone criticised Billy for picking Tommy Dearden at 5'8" instead of putting Hunt into the halves.
Is that when Munster got COVID?
COVID and Catewell's in the back row. They said, they got to change Catewell in the back row, and they went on win one game.
That was 2 years ago, though.
Yeah, but he's been in this position before.
Yeah. I have no doubt you blokes will ambush us. Like, I have no doubt. And I reckon that's the reason why we've gone with Mitch Barnett. I could see Mitch Barnett starting.
You can?
Yep.
For who?
For Jake.
Yeah, right. The captain.
Oh, another captain on the bench, like Kurt Gidley.
Kurt Gidley, that went well. What about your bench, boys? Harry Grant and Kalen Ponga. It's a small bench.
Yeah, but game 1 was the same.
Yep. Like Cobbo on the bench. Yeah.
And I think Ponga will come on 10 minutes to go in the first half, maybe 6 or 7 minutes, put him at lock and just
float around.
Just float around everywhere.
Were you happy with what you saw from him in his return game for Newcastle?
Yeah. You know what? I think this day and age, and it doesn't matter what sport you're in, Missile, even with swimming, I think if you've been out a while, I think they come back a lot better than what we did.
We don't have the niggles.
You used to have 3 or 4 games to get game fitness again. I think they come back in a lot better condition these days. I tell you, on Origin, my A grade is Madge.
Uh-oh.
Why?
Well, he's picked a fight with Gordy, your mate Gordy, Fletch.
Oh, what's he done now?
Well, he's come out and said maybe Gordy will be living in that glass house.
Why? What did Gordon say?
No, just talking about the whole glass houses from game 2.
I understand that, but did Gordon bite back?
No, basically the way that Gordy played as well.
Oh, got you.
Madge has come out and said, well, maybe he'll be living in that same glass house. Do you reckon Gordy will have you'd be biting down on his tongue by now?
Yeah.
Goodness me.
I was with
him on Friday night. We went up to Eaton Hills. Is that it?
Eaton Hill Hotel. Yeah.
What
great
a pub. What a pub.
Yeah. Great pub.
The Honourable Peter Dutton was in there.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Is he a Queenslander?
Queenslander.
Is he?
Yeah.
And I hate to say it, good fella. Great fella. I was very impressed.
Former copper. Former detective, yeah.
Was Gordy in good spirits? Because he's been a bit testy in the media after Origin.
Hasn't he? What?
Gordy, I think that might be the NRL 360. Hanging around with all those journos. Surely that'd just suck the life out of you.
It'd drive you insane, wouldn't it?
Look at Braith.
Mate.
I mean, Braith
Big Willie's gone off at him on his podcast.
Has he?
At all the journos. Yeah, big time.
What do you think of our team, that New South Wales squad? Bradman Best in, obviously a fourth change, and then Mitch Barnett replaces Amole Olakau'atu.
Yeah, solid. Good forward pack.
Yeah. Barnett's played his way in there. He was one of the best out of the whole round from a losing team.
Do you feel more confident without Latrell lining up for New South Wales?
Absolutely. Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I do. But then again, even if he does play, I think game 3's, I think Queensland will
clean them up.
I just think we'll ambush New South Wales.
Well,
I hate to say
hardly an ambush. So they know what's coming.
Yeah.
But the New South Wales forward pack were probably the stronger of the two
100%.
in game 2.
Yeah.
So that's where the game's going to be won and lost. So Queensland have got to
Madge will look at this. Madge will look at game 2 and go, we'll look at the scoreline. It's a really good scoreline for a New South Wales fan. But you look at that second half when possession was 50-50.
I'm with you, mate.
Queensland made a lot of line breaks. Yeah, and even in that first half, they had 3 opportunities that they didn't get to ice. And so I reckon there's a fair bit that Madge will be a little bit concerned
about. Do we know who the referee is yet?
No, we don't know yet.
Give it to the if the G-man gets it, we win. If you get the Calvin, you blokes.
You reckon?
Yeah.
Calvin was all over you blokes all over us in game 2.
Calvin.
It'll be a square up. Calvin's in there.
Yeah, square up.
We had Calvin game 1. Look what he was doing.
Look what he did in game 2.
Yeah,
square up. It'd be nice just to get a nice open game that we don't get the whistle blown. And 6 against. It's a nightmare.
Yesterday, boys, big JWH broke the record at Fletcher's club, and it went pretty much to script. 10 in the bin, massive hit off the kickoff, blood all over over the face. Yeah,
how good. You just keep ticking off. Like if you go through his 80 minutes, he just ticked off everything, didn't he? So you go, So is outstanding. Oh, he's my favourite front rower of all time.
Really?
JWH. Of all time, he's my favourite front rower.
Well, boys, I asked
Jock
Fletch
sniffing.
who his favourite
No,
favourite front rower.
You didn't say favourite. You said who's the
Oh,
best.
the best. Best
Yeah.
front rower you've played with, best you've played against, and where does Jared rank?
Yeah, I heard that, and he
Yeah.
said, sort of when you talk about Webby and Petra and those guys,
Yeah.
he sort of sits I think he sits at the same table as all
Really?
those guys. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, I thought he's a rung down.
Really?
Well,
That's
Glenn Lazarus was the best front row I've ever seen. I got to play.
Yep.
Did you play against him?
Yeah, but it was at the back end of his career. Got to play
Yeah.
with him.
Remember how hard he was to get on the ground?
Oh, you couldn't
He
get
always
him around.
landed on his front. He's
Strong.
just
He's a
ridiculous.
monster of a human.
Yeah,
Just
just like a
huge
big boat.
And mobile.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, look at Jared, though. He's like a faster Lazarus.
Yeah.
You see him running back off the kickoff yesterday? Leave me
Yeah.
right out of that.
No,
Yeah.
he's a scary sort of dude.
That-
Rat,
yeah.
what about your Sharks?
I know.
Hole
Disappointing, eh?
falling in the hole.
I just got a little report that he's hurt his ankle at training.
Yeah.
And so I just messaged a couple of people, and someone just messaged me saying he feels like he heard it crack.
Uh-oh.
So it could be broken. So
You also hear crack with the ligaments as well.
yeah,
Sometimes
yeah,
you'd
true.
rather a broken than
Yeah.
ligaments.
Well,
Are we going to say the
mate,
we're going to say the word, the dreaded Latin word, syndesmosis? Is it
I
Latin?
think you know what?
Is it
They
actually Latin
haven't
or not?
performed too badly with Trindle and Atkinson in the halves. And I don't know, maybe Nico, this forced little break might be good for him.
All right, boys. Now this
Yeah.
is legit. This is straight out of the Courier
Legit.
Mail. Stephen
Yeah.
James Newman pleads guilty to indecent act in public Mackay car park.
What is it with all? I heard at the top of the show with your news of the week. Everything is like sex related with you guys.
With
What is
us?
it?
No, it's
Yeah.
not. This is what.
It's Aaron Molan getting stuff injected into her head.
No,
and-
hang on.
That
That is a beauty.
related.
That
Yeah,
is-
it is. Well, it's salmon sperm.
Yeah,
Oh, it is.
Yeah, it's
but
just,
that's not nothing to do with. That's got nothing to do with. What are we talking? Smart. It's just certainly not
Science.
sex. Just putting
Medicine.
It's putting
Okay,
semen on your
yep.
face. Who hasn't done
Yep.
that? Okay. Stephen James Newman pleaded guilty in Mackay Magistrate Court for committing an indecent act in public,
Okay.
namely defecating and inserting one of two dildos in a Gregory Street car park. When queried about the incident outside the courthouse, Newman denied the charge and asked, "Do I look like a guy who would shove a dildo up my ass?" "Well, no, I don't. I bat for one team and one team only," he said. "I shouldn't be pleading guilty because the shit, that wasn't mine, mate. Not here. Shit, not here." Stephen James Newman, sorry,
Rat, step back from the microphone. We're
when
stepping
appearing
right
before
back.
Magistrate Bronwyn Hardigan, Newman responded with guilty pleas as she read out his charges. On May 17th, 2024, you took water from a firefighting system, namely a fire hose reel, without permission of the service provider, who was the Fire Systems Queensland, and the water was not taken for firefighting purposes. And on May 17th, you willfully and without lawful excuse did an indecent act, namely defecating and inserting a
Honestly, that was worse
What
than
is
Rat's cat
that?
story.
What is that?
I'm reading it. It's in the Courier Mail.
Is that the Courier Mail?
It's a Courier Mail. I'm just
Mate,
reading.
word-
Holy, it is too.
See,
Word for word, right?
it is.
I'm sure
Anyway,
it is.
You should.
Newman
send
gave
that
guilty
through.
pleas, so he had a used pipe, bags of meth and cannabis, and illegally taking water from a fire hose reel.
It is a Courier Mail, and that's
100%.
reported from Zoe Davenport.
Correct. I'm not
There you
GNR.
go.
Far out.
Did
Yeah,
I
well,
just
mate.
get
There's not
kiboshed?
much to do in Mackay, right?
I've never been kiboshed ever in my life, and I've been
Well, it just
kiboshed.
happened then. That was horrendous.
Okay. Unfortunately, the world we live in is
People are,
horrendous.
yeah.
And this
People-
is our show. You can't be doing that to our show.
People doing some crazy. Hey, I sent a. This is for you, Fletch.
Yeah.
I sent a message to Shug yesterday, and I said, "You guys have to get this bloke on your show." I don't know if you've heard of him. Have you heard of the Coffin Confessor?
No.
Coffin?
The Coffin Confessor.
No, do tell.
So this guy gets hired by people that are terminally ill, that are dying, and he's paid a lot of money to go to the funeral and then confess the person who's dead their sins and stuff at
what?
the funeral. He's got to speak, and he goes, "I don't have a loyalty to the people there. I've got a loyalty to my client who's passed away, and I've got to perform this." But mate, his stories are unbelievable.
Don't worry about them. We'll get him on.
So hang on. So if I'm if I know I'm dying, so I'm terminally
Yep.
ill, I engage the coffin dude.
Yep.
And I tell him all my secrets.
Yep.
That one night with Rico, yeah.
And then
there was two. And then
he goes to the funeral and tells the stories to the crowd. Now he reckons the hardest one he's had was he went to a bikie wedding, a bikie's funeral.
Yeah.
And he had to tell the crowd that the guy that had passed was gay and his love was in the audience.
Oh.
And he said he got sort of like they tried to attack him, but he had to he managed it and showed him the contract and this is the deal and. Yeah, but, mate, he's got some stories. My wife had him on her show last year and she was telling me about it. I said, oh, mate, Fletch will have a field day with this guy.
So I've heard of the guy that goes to, you can hire people to cry at your funeral.
Yeah, right.
I've heard of that, but this is just one step.
Oh, this is next level.
That's gold.
So, it's an interesting, it'd be a good yarn for you, I reckon, Fletch.
Yeah. It says here he costs $10,000.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
To gate crash your wedding. And,
your funeral. Not
speak
wedding.
up for the dead. Sorry, the funeral. Gate crash and speak up for the dead. Worth it, Fletch?
Yeah, I like the other idea.
What
you
cries?
know, a guy was talking about when someone passes away and you cremate them, what you can do with the ashes.
Yep.
And a guy was saying that it's a business where he puts them in a firecracker and then
Blows it up.
blows up into the sky and all the ashes come down. I thought that was okay.
Oh, I don't know about that.
When you pass away, are you going to, where do you want your ashes?
Me?
All of you,
I
anyone.
haven't even thought about it.
It's pretty
not
grim.
something I thought about.
No, I know. I mean, we're
Probably back up.
Yeah,
back up
we
in
are
Port
getting
Macquarie.
older, aren't we?
We are getting on. I'm 50. Sats is 56. How old are you, Sats?
52.
I'm 48.
Oh, I've got the baby next to me. How old are you, baby?
33.
He's 33.
Are you only 33?
33 and full of gear. You'll live to 150.
Hey, Missile, can I ask you, we're all talking about the women's swim team and how great it's potentially going to be for Australia. In the men's side, can you give me a yay or a nay whether a definite gold medal chance? Okay, Sam Short.
Yay.
Elijah Winnington.
Yay.
Cam McAvoy.
Yay.
So
wow, that'd be good, Cam McAvoy.
I was talking to one of the guys yesterday who's going over to call, Matty Thompson's going over to call the swimming.
Yeah.
And he said that Cam McAvoy, it's only really out of him and Caleb Drexler.
No, there's a few others in the mix. The thing about all those yays I said are probably best case scenario 40-60.
Okay.
Whereas you throw in those yays for the girls and you're talking 90-10.
Yeah,
there's about 5 girls that can win and that are in that 90-10 category. So
it
is the age of the golden girls. The problem is what happens, boys, is often when you get those young swimmers that they're often quite athletic as kids and have a number of opportunities in multiple sports. And with the rise of all the football codes, they just get them at a young age and they end up at football instead of swimming. Whereas the women's swimming team is still
hasn't been pilfered by all the other codes.
It hasn't. Yeah,
it's coming.
Yes,
it's coming with the Matildas and
RLW
and
how come
AFLW?
Swimmers are swimming later now, Missiles? Just because of sports science?
Yeah, sports science, all that stuff that wasn't really around when back in the day, like your diet, your load management, recovery methods. Everyone's ice bathing. Fletcher's spending days in a sauna per week.
I love a sauna.
Infrared or traditional?
Anything traditional. Turkish steam bath.
You're a mad.
Really?
I reckon you're a mad sweater.
Do you just towel up and go in sort of raw underneath? Yeah,
it depends where I am.
Right. Okay.
I hate it when people talk to me in the sauna.
Same.
It's the worst.
Not here for that.
And where are their eyes? They're looking down. Sats, are you a mad sweater?
No, I'm not.
Really? I thought for sure you'd be $1.01 because you got the hairy knuckles.
It does have hairy knuckles, eh?
Never fight anyone. So if you've got a bit of advice for anyone out there.
Yeah.
If you're at a bar
and
your bloke's trying to put it on you, look down these knuckles. If he's got hairy knuckles, run.
Walk away. Or cauliflower ears.
You will not beat anyone with hairy knuckles.
Is that a sign of like extra strength or testosterone?
I don't know. Everyone that I know who can fight has got hairy knuckles. So good night, Irene. I'm going home to put some salmon sperm on my face.
And
not Jamin's.
See you, boy.